Let's move on now. The Indian Air Force Air Chief Marshal Amarpreet Singh is currently on a visit to France as India prepares to advance one of its biggest fighter aircraft procurement plans in decades. India is moving forward with the proposal to acquire 114 additional Rafale fighter jets from French manufacturer Dassault Aviation. The proposed deal, if signed, will be one of the largest defense procurements in India's history. Under the plan, a significant number of jets are expected to be manufactured in India under the government's Make in India initiative, while others will be delivered in flyaway condition from France. Discussions between India and France are currently focused on pricing, production, timelines and technology cooperation. The deal is expected to move into formal negotiations in the coming months. If finalized, this acquisition will significantly expand India's Rafale fleet and deepen strategic defense cooperation between New Delhi and Paris. Air Commodore N.K. Mehta, former Indian Air Force officer, is joining us live. Air Commodore Sanjeev Medirata, former Indian Air Force officer, is also with us in the broadcast. Group Captain Jha, former Indian Air Force officer, also joins us live. Group Captain U.K. Devnath, former Indian Air Force officer, is also with us on the broadcast. Let me make a start with you first, Air Commodore Mehta. How crucial and how timely is this acquisition of the Rafale jets, this fresh order for our Indian Air Force?
It is very crucial, but not timely. It is already delayed, long delayed. Indian Air Force is supposed to have a certain amount of squadrons. We are short by 12 to 14 squadrons right now. So India's decision to acquire additional Rafale fighter aircraft is not merely a procurement exercise. It should not be seen as a procurement exercise. It is a strategic investment in national security. Given the evolving security environment, the need to maintain air superiority on two fronts and rapid modernization of the neighboring countries' air forces, strengthening of Indian Air Force and Indian Navy with proven combat platform, and both are prudent and very necessary. So it should not be seen as a timely. It's already delayed, long delayed. Our successive air chiefs have highlighted time and again that Indian Air Force should have 52 squadrons, and right now 32 squadrons are there. How can you manage two fronts? So it's not only the man behind the intention, that it has to be proven with the supporting weapons, supporting aircraft. So Rafale has proved its worth in last 2, 3 years, 5 years we have been using it, and our pilots are trained. And this deal is in transferring technology, and it will help our Indian aviation, Indian corporates in the aviation industry to develop. So this is very important and highly rightly so.
Air Commodore Medirata, what has made the Rafale, such a strategic asset for our Indian Air Force? We've already got them in our of course battalion. We've already got them in our squadrons. But what makes us so what makes this so important for us to acquire so many more in such a large number? What sets apart Rafale from other aircrafts, which is why the Indian Air Force is focusing on it again?
Hello, good evening. Well, as you say, Rafale is not an ordinary aeroplane. It is a 4.5 generation aircraft. And if you notice around us, the aircraft which are flying, it has got an edge over those aircraft, because in one particular sortie only, it can have multiple roles. It can do deep strike, it can do air superiority, yes. It can do air to air, air to ground, and many other roles. Even nuclear deterrence is also available. And we just have 2 squadrons as of now. And like we are working on a strength of about 65 to 70% as of now, maintaining both the fronts, the north as well as the west. So it is a long-awaited decision, and if you notice, we've not been able to buy a bulk fighter aircraft in the last 2 to 3 decades. So this is the first purchase after those 2 squadrons of Rafale, and it is more of a strategic decision, because not only will we get these aircraft, it will help us in developing our own aviation industry also, which is a long-term plan in the sense. Today we are short by about say 13 to 14 squadrons. This will take years to come. It's not that these aircraft are going to come tomorrow. By 2032 probably we'll get the first aeroplane of this contract. Right now we are just starting the negotiations, and we'll be getting first aircraft by around 2032, and maybe it will continue when we start manufacturing in India later on. It will come to about 2035 to 2040. So we are talking about a strategic plan of about next 20 years.
Okay.
And in those 20 years, we would require all these aircraft, not only these 118, but we would require more of our local aircraft, which we are developing. And it will give a boost to those Mark IIs also, which we are making at India. And these aircraft would also get manufactured in India thereafter. And it is positively a leap because this is one of the best aircraft which are flying around in our region as on date. You can compare it to the other aircraft also, and you will realize that this is a much better aircraft and it can handle multiple roles at the same time, giving us a lot of air superiority. Yeah.
Indeed. And also, the fact is that this component of a lot of the aircrafts being manufactured under government's Make in India initiative also, eventually in due course, is also something that makes this deal very important and lucrative for us, isn't it, Group Captain V. N. Jha? Having such a high caliber aircraft, which was usually assembled and made in France, eventually made in India, is also going to be very important for our Atmanirbhar initiative.
Absolutely. It goes without saying. Look, there is an absolute perfect... Absolutely. Look, it goes without saying. Once we had that initial 2 squadrons, that time itself, most of us, we felt that we should have gone for more squadrons at that time itself, in the initial. But then we must remember, in 2014-15, India was $1.8 trillion economy and couldn't have possibly afforded this costly aircraft at the price that it would have gone for. But then, there is another dimension also. We felt, I being involved with the LCA development program sometime in the early part of the 2010s, there was a feeling that once we had achieved the operational configuration, certification, with the complete certification, we thought we should be able to go much faster in the procurement. And the government also left no stone unturned, that from the HAL's commitment of 4 Rafale per year, it had associated the many other private firms with the PPP model to produce almost about 22, 24 aircraft per year. That has gone through. But again, USA has shown us their color. They have taught us the lesson that unless we have our own engine, we can't rely on to them. And this is the result of that lack of a GE404 engine, which we are suffering right now. Right now, almost about a squadron plus airframe is on the tarmac minus the engine. So that is what we are suffering. But anyway, as Commodore Manjaratta had said, that it will take time. There is a gestation period in making the aircraft productionized and come to the operations. But then, knowing the experience of 2015 with the Rafale, with this government-to-government dealing, we have seen that the aircraft were able to fly in the ready fly condition within about 5 years or so. Within 5 years, and that is what we are looking from here also. So we can expect that with the assembly line, with the production line already geared up in Dassault, we should be able to get the aircraft by 2030. But still, 2030 is a long way. Right now, our needs are dire. And secondly, now since we are also committed to Rafale Marine, now the MROs, the maintenance, repair and overall facilities, what is coming up for the Rafale. Remember, whether it is Rafale Airforce version or Marine version, the basic technology are similar. A large number of components are the same. It's some amount of variation that takes on the naval version. But then it goes with the reason that once we have absorbed the technology of Rafale in the Air Force as well as Navy, it goes without any
and it also shows, Group Captain UK Devnath, that obviously the government has realized that this is the need of the hour for our Indian Air Force. Of course, as Air Commodore Mehta said earlier, that this could have happened earlier, but which is why a deal of such magnitude is happening. This, I think, is going to become the biggest defense procurement ever if it goes through, isn't it, Group Captain UK Devnath? That says a lot about the aircraft, of course, and the timeliness of this initiative, and in terms of the quantity as well of aircrafts being purchased?
Definitely, Vijay. If the entire contract goes through, the magnitude will be almost 3.25 lakh crore. I must remind the viewers that it will be practically 50% of defense budget of a single year. But definitely this 3.25 lakh crore rupees expenditure will be spread over a period of next 10 to 15 years. Uday, we definitely need a fighter aircraft. We are down to 29 fighter squadrons, and now 5 squadrons of Jaguars are going in next 10 years. 4 squadrons of MiG-29 are retiring in next 10 years. 3 squadrons of Mirage 2000s are retiring next 10 years. So say by 2035, 12 fighter squadrons will retire. If nothing comes, then we are in a very, very grave situation. But all should be okay. I hope that a contract is signed quick enough. There are no problems as far as Air Force is concerned. Some people are making a big issue out of source code. We have procured aircraft in all over the world. Air Forces have procured aircraft without a source code. That does not affect the operations at all. Yes, in case we wish to modify the aircraft in future, 10 years, 20 years down the line, we suppose we want to fit BrahMos air-to-ground version in Rafale, then we will need source code. But you see, we shouldn't count the chicken before they hatch. Let the Rafale come. Source code can always be acquired 5 years, 10 years down the line. HAL is doing quite a bit of work. Various private Indian entrepreneurs are up and ahead. We have TSSL, Tata Advanced Systems Limited, who are prime partners in India. They'll be making many components, especially airframe components in India. Hyderabad, Bangalore will become a hub. There is an estimation that more than 400 components, small, big, will be made in India over a period of time. Because once the aircraft is inducted, it will last with us for next 50 years. So about 400 odd small and big SMEs will join the race for production of these components in India. As far as Rafale aircraft is concerned, Uday, previous has already bought out is a highly successful 4.5 generation plus aircraft, just short of a 5th generation stealth fighter aircraft. Pakistan is on the verge of acquiring a stealth fighter aircraft from China, say J-35 class of aircraft. China already has large number of J-20s with them. They have probably already have manufactured 200 of them. Their aim is to make 500 in another 10 years. So we are looking at 2 adversaries with 5th generation fighter aircraft. Rafales will be a good help in overcoming a 2-front war, 2-front threat scenario in future. But Uday, we need Rafales today. We need it by tomorrow. There is no time to, waste. Indian Air Force is in a dire shape. I must own up. Open source information, 29 squadron we claim we have, but actually in squadrons, number of aircraft being offered for flying every day in the morning are very, very precarious number. Every fighter squadron is supposed to have 18 aircraft, and there is no shame in accepting that our technical officers are offering not 18 aircraft, but just about 12 or 14 aircraft in these 29 squadrons. So actually our fighter strength is much less than 29 squadrons, Uday.
Right. Also, Commodore Mehta, currently the Indian Air Force Chief, of course, is in France. Right now, reportedly focused on production timelines, pricing, technology sharing. What is currently being discussed right now? How do these things work? Of course, we've given that intention to France that we want to buy it. I think the technical term is of course an RFA. After that, the process of the finalizing these nitty-gritties is on, and then the deal will be inked. What are the kind of timelines that we look at, and what all does a deal of this magnitude entail? Air Commodore Mehta.
The biggest advantage and specialty of this particular deal is this is the first time it is happening for the Indian Air Force, is the kind of technology transfer that is going to take place in this. This has never happened in the past, and this is a big change that is happening. With this technology transfer, there will be, as Group Head Devnath already covered, large number of Indian SMEs will get opportunity for industrial partnership and production, indigenous production. It will boost to a great extent. Maintenance and repair facilities will be created in India, and this is a big opportunity for Indian aerospace companies to move forward and get into the space where we are nowhere in the world international scenario. So the kind of deal we are negotiating, except for the source code which we are still being debated, this particular deal will give a big boost to Indian Air Force currently and in the future times to come. And this will set a benchmark for the future deals. That is the important part. It will be a benchmark for all future deals. Timelines, as Jha sir has already covered, it will take at least 2 decades to get the deal complete. It is not going to come the first aircraft is expected to come in 2030 only. So we are already late, and negotiations are being done to expedite as far as possible. Maybe 1 or squadron, maybe 2 more squadrons will come as ready to operate. But time will say.
Okay. Air Commodore Medirata, also, of course, now the finality of the deal, is it expected within the next 4 months? Air Commodore Medirata, if you can hear me, the conclusion of the deal, sir, do we expect it within the next 4 months?
Yeah, that's a very pertinent question. And right now, as you said, the air chief is in France, and a few things need to be sorted out, and the negotiations are going to start, not end. Negotiations are going to start now in a while, and the 2 pertinent points are India's specific modifications to the aeroplane. We need specific aeroplanes with specific modifications, like we need high altitude, or we need extra measures of electronics and all that. So there are about 13 modifications which we need, which are under consideration right now. Also, we are looking at it as a long-term strategic partnership with France as far as aviation is concerned, not just purchasing a few aircraft. And we are looking at it as for 2047, we should be having a capability of making our own aircraft, whether it is Tejas Mark II or it is AMCA. And we will be requiring all those aircraft also along with it. Like Gupi Devnath said, not just these aircraft will suffice, we would need more aircraft also, other than these 114 or 118. So those aircraft's modifications and developments would also be connected with this deal. That's why we are going in for lakhs of crores of deal.
Yes.
Because we would like to encompass all these things.
And if successful, do you believe, Group Captain Jha, this could be a model for other deals as well, where it will be stated that there will be technology transfer, so that certain amount of not just aircrafts but other defense acquisitions are also manufactured in India in due course as well?
Absolutely right. Look, right now, India is in that position to not really dictate, but then to emphasize onto France to give us those technology transfer, because it is not only few squadrons of the aircraft, it is a huge number of the aircraft plus those which are already operating here. And a couple of more points to be included here is, or considered here, is that remember the first set of aircraft that we got, 2 squadrons we signed in 2015. Already has 13 India-specific modifications. There are a couple of more that Indian Air Force will be glad to incorporate. So we have already invested D&D, design and development cost of those India-specific modifications in the already aircraft that is flying with the Air Force. So the new set of aircraft will be having already the design specifications and the weaponries, what these India specific modifications are there in the previous procurement. Second thing, remember when we are talking of the TOT is, there could be a few objects onto which TOT France may not agree. So there will be a percentage, whether we would like to go to about 70% of the TOT of the components. That is a fair bit of new components or our own manufactured component. Secondly, the questions of how this will be included, incorporated, how all this will come. Look, India has already absorbed this technology. Now, what were new? Grupi Devnath and Grupi Medirata also mentioned that source code. No, source code is not important at all at this stage. Absolutely correct. Because all the weapons which India has, including Magic Matra, Sidewinder, all these existing weapons are already fitted into the or capable into the Air Force aircraft that we have procured earlier. So that is not an issue. As far as missile systems, the new missile systems for the air to surface or air to air required, we already have other aircrafts, and those aircrafts will remain in service for quite some time. So that is not a real concern right now. But yes, in the coming time, as the battlefield scenario are changing, there is a incorporations of the drones and other systems, UAVs coming up there. So there could be a thought process in putting few of the modifications or the modified designs of the avionic systems, which could be further generation, maybe 6th generation. Right now, AMCA is also coming up, and not to forget, we are procuring LCA Mark 1A. We are going for LCA Mark 2, and we are also going for AMCA on full throttle. So now Safran is going to give us an engine. HAL and Safran are already in the talking terms, and they are already figuring out how to go ahead with this. So once the engine is ready, so and also 414 engine, I suppose GE has agreed that they will be opening the manufacturing center here. So 414 for LCA Mark 2 and the AMCA and Safran engine.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm out of time. Group Captain Devnath, 30 seconds to you before we end. Last word.
Uday, we are down to 29 squadrons. 12 more squadrons are retiring in next 10 years. That is, we'll be down to 17 squadrons.
Yes.
Very soon, within next 10 years. Time to wake up. Yes, Uday?
Okay. My thanks to all of our guests for joining us on this discussion. We're taking a very short break at this juncture. The news continues on the other side.